Some rounds are just meant for the range. Some are so-so, some are junk. But there are ones made to shut threats down as fast as possible. And if you ever find yourself in a worst-case scenario, you'll want to know the round in your chamber isn't going to let you down. But with so many calibers, bullet designs, and brands out there, it's so easy to get overwhelmed. So how do you know which ones actually live up to the hype? In this video, we're going over what we believe are 8 of the deadliest self-defense loads across all the major handgun calibers. No fluff, just stuff that works when it really counts. We're covering everything from punchy 380 plus P to heavy 10mm loads that hit like a friggin' truck. Regardless of what you carry, it could be something small and slim or a full-sized all-metal 45 auto by your nightstand. There's something here that'll match your setup and give you peace of mind. These loads aren't theory. They've been tested in the real world and trusted by serious shooters. Some cost more than others, but they all earn their keep. By the end, you'll have a clear idea which loads actually bring the heat and which ones give their caliber a whole new reputation. Let's dive in. The 9mm has been labeled the bare minimum for personal protection. But since Ruger released their LCP Max, the 380 Auto has really started gaining traction. People still choose it because it's small, light on recoil, and easy to carry in pistols such as the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 or Beretta 80X Cheetah. Many folks worry about stopping power in this caliber, so I recommend looking into Underwood's 380 ACP plus P90 grain Extreme Penetrator if you want a serious performance boost. This load was produced in partnership with Lehigh Defense, which contributed the fluted solid copper Extreme Penetrator bullet. Rather than using a standard hollow point, this design relies on fluid displacement to create a wound channel that's far bigger than most expect from a 380. The bullet weighs 90 grains, reaches up to about 1,200 feet per second, and delivers around 288 foot-pounds of energy. One user got 1,035 feet per second from a short 2.8-inch barrel, which is still more than enough to shoot through multiple water jugs. That solid copper nose doesn't rely on expansion and won't clog, making it dependable even after passing through barriers. Nickel-plated brass helps with reliable feeding, and flash-suppressed powder is a plus in low-light settings. This ammo is not cheap at $37.99 for 20 rounds, close to $1.90 per shot. But think it's money well spent if you want a 380 that behaves more like a 9mm. It's recommended for guns with proper chamber support for plus P pressure, so check your pistol's specs before you feed it these rounds. The 5.7 by 28mm round runs at high speeds and used to be seen in more specialized platforms. Lately, pistols like the FN 5.7, Ruger 5.7, PSA Rock 5.7, Smith & Wesson MP 5.7, and Kel-Tec PR 5.7 have put it on more people's radar. This cartridge was created by FN Herstal in the late 1980s as a possible successor to 9mm for military and law enforcement. The Hornady 40-grain FTX critical defense load addresses traditional hollow point issues like plugging when going through layers of fabric. Hornady's polymer insert keeps the bullet's cavity clear and ensures expansion. It travels at about 1,810 feet per second from a 4.8-inch barrel and yields 291 foot-pounds of energy, which is swift enough to generate serious disruption while minimizing the risk of excessive penetration that FMJs or armor-piercing rounds might have. The nickel-plated brass helps with reliable feeding, and low-flash powder is handy for defensive encounters in dim light. The price is around $30.99 for 25 rounds, which works out to $1.24 each. This can look pricey, but it's not bad for a cartridge that delivers speed, accuracy, and reliable expansion. If you're running any decent 5.7 pistol and you're looking for the best self-defense ammo for it, you should really consider this load. The 9mm was once doubted by some, yet it's now the most widespread self-defense handgun caliber. Glock 19, SIG P365, CZ P10C, and Smith & Wesson M&P are just a few examples of reliable pistols in this category. The Underwood 9mm Luger plus P plus self-defense load is made for folks looking to push performance to the edge. Its 124-grain Nosler sporting handgun bullet uses a tapered alloy jacket and dual-lead cores for controlled expansion and top-tier accuracy. It exits the barrel at about 1,300 feet per second, creating 465 foot-pounds of energy, which compares to some .357 Magnum ballistics. That extra velocity comes with extra chamber pressure, so it's only suited to pistols rated to handle +P+. Underwood also uses nickel-plated brass for corrosion resistance and flash-suppressed powder to keep muzzle flash low. Each box of 20 costs around $18.69, putting it close to 93 cents per round. It might appear pricey, but that's not bad for ammunition that offers this level of power and reliability. It isn't the right fit for every 9mm, but if your pistol can handle the pressure, this ammo might surprise you with its velocity and impact. The .38 Special has served for generations and remains a solid choice in small to medium revolvers like the Smith & Wesson J-Frame, Ruger LCR, and various Taurus or Colt models. Buffalo Bore's Heavy .38 Special plus P 158 grain lead semi-wad cutter hollow point with a gas check item number 20A breathes new life into this caliber. The soft lead bullet was patterned after classic Keith-style designs, known for a flat nose and wide me-plat, but Buffalo Bore addressed the fouling concerns by adding a gas check. From a 4-inch barrel, it registers around 1,162 feet per second and 474 foot-pounds of energy. Even out of a 2-inch snub, it still manages about 1,040 feet per second, generating 379 foot-pounds, plenty to pierce roughly 14 inches of ballistic gel. It's easier to reload quickly in a snub nose than .357 because .38 Special brass is shorter, letting the ejector rod do its job in one stroke. This load uses flash-suppressed powder, so your sight picture remains usable if you ever discharge it in the dark. The price hovers at $38.33 for 20 rounds, around $1.92 per shot. That might feel like a premium, but it's a load that turns a .38 into a serious deterrent. The .357 Magnum is known for delivering uncompromising power out of a well-built revolver from manufacturers such as Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Taurus, or Colt. Buffalo Bore's Heavy .357 Magnum 180 grain JHP, item number 19L, was designed for superior penetration using a heavier bullet than a 158 grain. We can't be certain what kind of bullet it uses though, but it looks like Hornady XTP jacketed hollow points, which balances accuracy with controlled expansion. But we can be wrong, so comment below if you know for sure what bullet it is. At full tilt, it can clock 1,501 feet per second from a 6-inch GP100 for an incredible 899 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. Even shorter barrels still get stout velocity. A 4-inch revolver might see 1,356 feet per second. It's a load intended for defensive or hunting use, carrying enough power to deal with threats, human or otherwise. The bullet expands reliably, usually reaching 0.6 of an inch, and can burrow up to 25 inches into soft tissue under the right conditions. Buffalo Bore keeps it at maximum pressures for those who value unstoppable force. It might be too hot for ultralight revolvers, but all steel guns typically handle it fine. It sells at $40.17 for a box of 20, or $2.01 each. It's not made for paper punching. It's intended to end a threat immediately, which is what folks want from a full-strength .357 Magnum. The .40 Smith & Wesson was invented to combine higher capacity with stopping power that sits between 9mm and 45 ACP. Many law enforcement agencies embraced it, and while some have returned to 9mm, the .40 still holds a loyal following among those who appreciate more punch than 9mm can provide. Pistols like the Glock 22, Beretta PX4 Storm, Smith & Wesson's M and P40M 2.0, Ruger SR40C, and Taurus TH40 all handle this caliber well. Federal's 180 grain HST has long been a law enforcement favorite. The HST line has proven itself by maintaining expansion through barriers such as glass or heavy clothing. It's engineered to retain almost all of its weight while growing to about 1.5 times its original diameter. Fired from a 4-inch barrel at 1,010 feet per second, it yields about 408 foot-pounds of energy. That translates to reliable penetration and expansion without losing the crucial momentum needed to stop an attacker. Nickel-plated brass helps with feeding and storage, and the primer is robust enough for consistent ignition. The HST brand is known for consistent performance across different conditions, which is why it's so highly regarded by those who rely on their sidearm for serious work. The MSRP is $42.99 for 20 rounds, making it about $2.15 per cartridge. That price may be steep for the range, but folks see it as an investment in their safety. The 45 ACP has a long history of getting the job done with a heavy slug and moderate velocity. Fans of pistols like the 1911, Glock 21, Smith & Wesson M and P45 M2.0, or Taurus TH45 can count on this caliber's proven track record. Black Hills Ammunition out of South Dakota has a well-known reputation for delivering quality products to the U.S. Armed Forces and major gun manufacturers. Their 45 ACP plus P230 grain jacketed hollow point is a smart option if you want a little more punch than standard pressure loads. The bullet leaves the muzzle at about 950 feet per second, which translates to 461 foot-pounds of energy. The jacket ensures reliable penetration, and the hollow point expands to a generous diameter. Independent testing in ballistic gel typically shows penetration around 18 to 22 inches, with expansion near 64 inches. Weight retention is nearly total, so the bullet maintains its mass as it moves through a target. Even though it's a plus P, many full-size pistols manage the recoil just fine. It sells at $20.95 for 20 rounds, coming to around $1.05 each, a fair deal for dependable defense ammo. This load brings a reassuring combination of power and reliability, which is exactly what most 45 fans are after. And lastly, let's talk about the 10mm, a powerhouse in the semi-auto handgun world developed in the 80s and briefly used by the FBI until recoil concerns caused a shift to lighter loads. Enthusiasts demand full-strength 10mm for personal defense or hunting, and that's where Underwood's 155-grain TASI XP comes in. Handguns like the FN 510 Tactical, Glock 40 MOS, or SIG P220 Legion can handle this round without issue. The TACXP bullet is an all-copper Barnes design that expands aggressively while still achieving deep penetration. Leaving the muzzle at around 1,400 feet per second, it generates about 675 foot-pounds of energy. That's more than many .357 Magnum or Hot 45 loads. The nickel-plated brass and flash-suppressed powder are consistent with Underwood's high-end approach. The bullet remains stable at high speed and cuts through various barriers without coming apart. It's offered in boxes of 20, and the sale price is $28.69, usually $40.99, which ends up around $1.43 per round. That's not cheap, but you're getting serious performance for the money, which can matter when you're dealing with large predators in the wild or dangerous situations on the street. For anyone who wants a 10mm that doesn't hold back, Underwood's TACXP is an impressive option. And that's a wrap. These 8 loads might differ in caliber and design, but each offers something unique for personal defense. Consider barrel length, recoil sensitivity, and your specific gun's capabilities before deciding, because it's vital to choose the right ammo that works reliably in your setup. High-performance cartridges can make a real difference when you need them most, so these picks are worth considering if you want the best possible load for your favorite firearm. But if there are other brands you swear by that we very likely missed, let us know in the comments. And while you're down there, please hit like, share it around, subscribe, and ring that bell for more solid 2A content. Thanks for watching.